ask you a Silas question. We'll talk about Saturday. Kind of what I was saying, Ferndale, they've had some guys, come to your program and help you out on defense. And just talk about the players Silas has been, the last couple of years for you guys.
Silas has been a tremendous player and a big part of what this program has been able to accomplish. And before Silas, we had Casey, his brother. Before I got here, the Killingsworth brothers, were huge players for Humboldt State, and now we've got Ike Townsend, another one certainly. So one thing about players from Ferndale is we know they're going to be well coached, they're going to be disciplined, and they're going to have a great work ethic. And certainly Silas has been all of that for us. Not heavily recruited coming out of Ferndale High School years ago. Many considered him undersized, but he really has been a mainstay for us on our defensive line for the last 3 years. And again, is really self-made in many, many ways. Again, he wasn't blessed with a lot of natural ability, not blessed with great size, but enough size and a tremendous heart. And really it's the heart that has made him the player that he's become for us. And in my estimation, he's certainly an all-league, or has performed at an all-league caliber level this year, and is one of our senior leaders, and it's allowed us this year to turn this thing around.
Yeah, this Saturday, what does it say about this team, the fact that you're out of the conference title, but to turn things around, winless last year and this year, to finish 8-2, just what these players have been able to accomplish?
Well, the credit goes to the players, and last year was such a combination of things that happened. Let's not forget that while these seniors, and we have 20 of them, 10 of whom entered here as freshmen, back in 2011 or 10 or whatever it was. In 2010 this program won 8 games. In 2011 this program won 9 games in a championship, 7 more in 2012. And then obviously, what could go wrong did go wrong in 2013. But boy, how they have rebounded, and we have rebounded. To win 7 and preparing to play a home game and hopefully finish it off right. So I'd rather people focus on the accomplishments. The seasons of success that we have had, not the one season where, through a combination of things, it just didn't happen. But we realize you also don't make it go away. It did happen, and what I'm maybe most proud of with these players is how they have taken that negative and the disappointment, the frustration, the injury, whatever the case may be, they've taken all of that and turned it around and in many ways turned it into a positive. It's been our motivator. From day one with this group is to, we had T-shirts and they were B2T, the letter B, the number 2, and the letter T, and it stood for bottom to top. We wanted to go from the bottom to the top, and we may not get there, but if we can finish this thing off right and get our 8th win on Saturday, to go from where we were to an 8-win season is something that everyone involved with our football program should feel good about, and hopefully it sets us up for continuing to take that next step now in 2015.
On Saturday with Dixie coming down, it seems like it's been a while since you guys have faced them. You guys won 50-3. I'm sure they don't forget what happened. And just talk about Saturday and Dixie coming to town.
Well, again, we've got to be very careful and be mature as a football team, not to focus on their record, but to focus on ourselves, the fact that it's our last opportunity as a team to go out and play. And this is a team that has enjoyed, from day one, they enjoy one another. They enjoy the time that they have spent together, whether that be in the locker room, on bus trips, or on the practice field. And so we know it's the last week. There's no more after Saturday. So we're going to put everything we have into this game. We're going to honor the 20 seniors that we have the way they should be honored, and that's to put forth our very best performance. And so really it's a week where we're going to focus more on ourselves and preparing to get to go out and play the game that we love to play one final time here in 2014. And we talk about it all the time, the amount of hours that these kids put in from the end of one season to the beginning of the next. And the amount of time with Drew Peterson in the weight room that they put in, the amount of time they do on their own, the amount of practice time that goes into it. and we get 10 opportunities. Well, this is the final one of those 10. So it's no less important, no more important. It's one more opportunity, and this one being the final one. Let's go out and be at our best.
What needs to go right, coming off that loss at Western, what needs to go right for you guys to finish up with the victory?
Well, obviously, it is a very disappointing defeat up at Western Oregon. We had many chances to we feel, take control of the game and win what we knew was going to be a close game. And we just didn't make the plays that you have to make. And it's a learning experience for us. The game really, the outcome of the game was really determined in the final 3 to 4 minutes of both the first half and the second half. And we lost that critical part of each half. And had we performed better, then we'd be celebrating that win, but we did not. And you just got to expect that when you play, there's very little that separates the top teams in the GNAC right now. And all you have to do is look at the teams that did play one another twice. And we split with Azusa, we split with Western Oregon. Western Oregon split with Central Washington. There's a lot of parity. And winning on the road is not easy in this conference. And we certainly have had our struggles at Western Oregon. So, again, we just didn't play the level of football that we needed to play to beat a good football team on their field, and we need to learn from that. Unfortunately, the 20 seniors that leave us this week won't get another chance, but many players do return, and those players will learn from that and certainly prepare in the off season and through practices as they come in spring and then in the fall to be better the next time out.
All right, Coach, you mentioned your program needs to still take one big step. What is that big step your program needs to take from going to an 8-win team to possibly a 9-10 win conference championship and playoffs?
There are a lot of steps. Again, we're pleased, but we're certainly not at all satisfied. First of all, there's no substitute for hard work. We need to just, once this season wraps up, and we got one big game before that does, but then we'll go back to the weight room. Coaches will start the recruiting process soon enough and start putting the pieces in place for 2015. But again, it's the ability to win on the road. It's the ability to make plays when plays are there to be made, to not make mistakes and not beat yourself, to get into the weight room. So in those tough, hard battles that are won or lost up front, you're winning those battles at the line of scrimmage, and continue to sell our program to, the very best student athletes that are out there in the state of California or on the West Coast. We have what we think is a tremendously attractive product and experience to offer student athletes. We get the Redwood Bowl on game day is as good as it gets. It's a special place. Unlike any other place in the GNAC, I believe. And so we have that, obviously, living on the North Coast and the quality of the education that students receive here at Humboldt State. Those are all very positive selling points for us in the recruiting process. And the last thing you can do is get complacent or get satisfied. You always have to say, okay, there's always another notch that you can elevate your program. And we'll meet on that as a staff and identify exactly how to go about doing that. And our goal every year here should be, and is to compete and ultimately win the conference championship, because that's something we control. And then get this team into the national playoffs, which is a very difficult task because that's something we don't control. As Azusa Pacific is finding out, sitting right now at 9-1 and dropping in the regional rankings. But again, we'll continue to work hard, and we've got a lot of players coming back after Saturday's game, and we've got a number of seniors that will be difficult to replace because they've played very well for us over their time here.
And going into the offseason, what needs are you going to need to fill by recruiting that you're going to lose?
Well, with the freshman group, you want a well-rounded class. You always do. You want players that want to be at Humboldt State. You want players that have that work ethic that a player like Silas Sarvinsky has, that he was able to utilize to make into the player he became. You want to find team-first guys. And we got a lot of good young talent, obviously. There's been a lot of snaps this year where we've lined up with an all-freshman backfield. with Robert Weber at quarterback, Jaquan Gardner, Richard Doctor at the running back positions. We've got some nice young players who redshirted this year for us. So that specifically on, when you look at needs, you think more of the transfer route of players that can come in and make an immediate impact. And we'll certainly have some needs at that area. They're more so on the defensive side of the ball than maybe on the offensive side. But again, we just feel very good about the opportunity, the experience that we're able to offer student athletes interested in Humboldt State.
Coach, this is the last chance for fans to come out this Saturday and recognize the great accomplishments of this 20-person senior class. What would you tell fans to motivate them to come out to the Rebel Bowl this weekend and really support this team and that senior class?
Well, so many of these seniors, and what I'm probably most proud about, the 20 is a large class. I think it's the second largest class in number that we've had in my time here, second only behind our championship team in 2011 that I think had 23 or 24 seniors. But 10 of the 20 seniors entered Humboldt State as freshmen, 4 or 5 years ago. And retention at the college level is difficult in any sport at any level. I read an article, I think, where Oregon, from their, a full scholarship Division I national power program, has only 3 or 4 players remaining from their 2011 recruiting class. Retention is difficult regardless of where you're at. So for us to have 10 that entered here as freshmen 4 or 5 years ago, I think is a great compliment to the perseverance and the commitment that those 10 players have shown. They've grown in so many ways over their time here. It's by far the largest group that we've had in terms of players that entered as freshmen and stayed the course. I think last year we just had 3 with that. So again, I'm really proud of that. And then you think back to the development of this program during their time here. Again, this was a program that we took over in 2008 that had struggled. By 2010, we were winning 8 games, a championship in 2011 that all of these seniors were a part of. They were the young players, the freshmen, the redshirt freshmen on that championship team in 2011. And here they are. They're all going to leave here with degrees, graduate from Humboldt State, and I think that is a tremendous accomplishment, and each one of them are to be commended for what they've been able to accomplish, both on the football field and in the classroom, and just finishing what it is that they started 4 or 5 years ago. So I hope the fans do come out and help us celebrate these 20 seniors, recognize their accomplishments, and also get a chance to see our football team one final time in the Redwood Bowl here in 2014. We know that our fans, like all of us directly involved with the program, suffered a great deal a year ago through that. But our fans stuck with us, and we've been able to put an entertaining and winning product on the field here in 2014. And we're looking forward to Saturday afternoon, an afternoon game at the Redwood Bowl, our only one of the season, and to have a good crowd, get the chainsaws fired up, and have our players get a chance to go out and play the game they love one final time.
Great. Thank you, Coach.
Okay? Good, guys.